Hey, what's going on, everybody? Bauer Brown here. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a couple of days. These guys will have to pardon me tonight. My cold is really kicking into high gear here, and got a lot of sniffling and sneezing and all that fun stuff going on. All right, I'll try my best to refrain. One other thing too is I got the comment recently that, hey, your videos are really, really blurry and having a hard time reading the things that are on the screen. And just a quick pointer, these videos are all shot in at least 1080p. All right, so if you're watching on YouTube, go to the bottom right-hand corner to that gear-looking thing there for your settings, and then click on that and go down to the bottom there, and you'll see something that says quality. And then you can change the quality to video. Chances are it's trying to adjust to your internet connection if you have a bit of a slower connection maybe, and it's trying to adjust itself. But you can up the quality there, and you can get yourself up to 1080p. And the difference is night and day, let me tell you. So anyhow, now that that's out of the way, what are we going to do today? Haha, right? Fun. It's exciting getting to see what we're going to learn next, isn't it? Well, let me tell you, the last video I believe was Placeables, right? So this video is going to be, drumroll, Placeables. Wah, wah. What the hell are you talking about, Placeables? All right, well, let me explain myself. We touched on the Placeables, right? So we did if I remember correctly, we learned how to get most of the base game stuff over, and we learned how to host those files locally if need be, right? So if we made any kind of changes to it, so we could either use the base game copy and keep everything over there if we didn't make any changes, or if we did make changes, like maybe we shuffled some things around or what have you, we learned how to do that locally and keep a copy of that in our local mod map folder. Okay. So with the thing with Placeables today, and we're going to wrap this up. This will probably be the end of it here. All right. We're just going to touch on a few things. I know that a lot of you guys, and myself too, not just you guys, not always content with everything that's, in the base game. There's much more cooler things out there, much cooler. And I'm going to start using some of those things. And a lot of them are mods or just, just prefabs meant to be placeables, what have you. So we're going to do that today because there is a difference. And I know right away that if you guys go out there and you try to download these things and throw them in your map and you try to apply the same techniques or same logic that you would for like a base game placeable, you're going to have some issues. So let's work through one or two of these things today, and I'll show you the differences, and I'll show you how to get these things in your map. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm going to go down to my my base game folder here. So let me get into, where am I at? Okay, let's go into my tutorial series and my placeables. Now I have two mods here. Now these are mods that I downloaded from the internet. All right, so what I'm going to do with these mods is they do not need to stay in their zipped file. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is extract both of these right into my prefabs folder. So let's get these extracted. No, we don't need that clicked. Okay. All righty, so now that these are extracted, I can delete them because, whoa, thought I deleted player farm there for a second because I don't need them anymore. All right, so we're going to start with the first one we have going on here, okay? Now, first thing first, let's open up the XML for this because this is where we're going to need to make some changes. I'm going to have a quick look here. And let me see. This is the first time I'm seeing this, by the way. So I want to see what the differences are here that we're going to need to change. Okay, only two things stand out to me. But let me explain one or two things here first, okay? When we download this mod, all right, our map, the map that we're currently building, that's a mod all by itself. It's a map mod, right? So when somebody else downloads your map, or when you download somebody else's map, where do you put it? In your mod folder, right? Because it's a mod. All right, so what you just downloaded is also a mod. All right, so this mod disk that you see that came with the file. Okay, let's go back to that folder there. Right, see how it came with a mod disk? you are not going to need that because we already have one. So now basically you have a mod within a mod, if you're following me here. So when our mod loads up, which is the map, when it loads up in the game, it's going to read our mod disk. Okay. And that's the only one that matters, right? So we don't need this second mod disk here. It's just getting in the way. If you run it through Test Runner, it's going to say it's an unnecessary file. So we're going to have to make some changes to get around this mod disk here. Okay. Now the changes that I see, first of all, let's go back to my notepad here. Up here where it says placeable type, where we have looks like a JMF rules. All right, that, how do I want to say this nicely? That's completely unnecessary. Completely. All it does is nothing, basically. I see why they did it. Maybe partially for clout, or maybe entirely for clout. I'm not sure. I mean, one thing I know is that JMF rules, man. I mean, absolutely. And I'm not picking on this guy. Honestly, it's I'm sure, I haven't looked yet, but I'm sure it's a decent mod. And unless, you know, it's an outstanding mod or you have one hell of a name in the modding community, something like that is completely unnecessary. And no offense to the mod author, I'm not going to remember your name tomorrow or even 5 minutes from now. So, but anyhow, what that's doing as far as our job is concerned is not making it that much more difficult, but that's not necessarily. The placeable type is definitely not JMF rules. All right. So the way he did this here, normally that would throw an error. If you tried to load a mod with this JMF rules, it will not take that because there is no such thing. All right. So let's go over here and I can see right away where he overwrote it. Okay. So right here, this type name JMF rules. This is what belongs here. The parent is cow husbandry. All right. So let's copy that. Go back over to this cow XML, and we're going to put that in its place because that's normally what belongs there. It's telling it what type of placeable it is. Okay. And it's a cow husbandry placeable. It's a cow barn. All righty. So now that we go down, everything else looks to be in place. We just need to go down. We need to go down a little bit further here. And the file name, our file path, the way this was set up, it was contained within its own folder. Still is, actually. Now, this file address that you see here, this path, is in reference to the XML. How do I want to say it? To where it sits. Okay, so let me go back here. So this cow.xml sits at the same level as the cow.i3d, right? They're in the same folder, so it sits at the same level. Okay, well, that's not necessarily true anymore now because we're not necessarily going to be using, how do I want to put this? It's still at the same level, but we're approaching it from a different file. We're going to put this in our placeables now instead of the mod disk, you know, bringing all of this into fruition and getting everything to work. Our placeables.xml is going to be the file taking care of this. Okay. So basically we're kind of deconstructing their mod in a sense. I mean, not entirely, but in a sense, right? Because it's a mod within a mod and we're just trying to turn that mod into a placeable. All right. So we can actually get rid of this mod disk now because we don't need it. So that's a goner. See ya. Hey, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's do it. See that? I tried to get all cocky and it backfired on me. All right. Everything else can stay. Everything else looks good as far as I can see. Okay, let's go back to where we were. All right. So now this file path, right? This only worked when the mod disk was in play and it all sat within the same folder. Even though it still sits within the same folder, things have changed now. All right. So I need to make this in reference to my placeables.xml. So my normal path is placeables. Let's see, / where do we sit now? It's in its own folder. Okay. I'll tell you what, I don't like this file name just because I don't. Nothing against the file name itself. It works for a mod, but for me being able to keep track of it, I don't like it. And this other one, I also downloaded the satellite dish because I don't know, thought it sounded cool. So I'm going to change that too. And it doesn't make a difference. You know, you can change it. You just have to, you have to note those changes, right? So let's go back here and note that change. So now it sits in Placeables / cow barn. I guess I was a little quick on. I was a little bit quick on changing that folder. That's no big deal though. All right, so Placeables / what did I say it was? Cow barn / cow.i3d. Okay, so that should be correct. Now I need to do a save as since I changed the name of that folder. Alrighty. See, I always got to get ahead of myself. I can never just wait and do things the right way. I mean, not that it's the wrong way, but alrighty. Oops. Go into Placeables, cow barn, and then this is cow. Yes. Okay. So now that's straightened out. Okay. So you see what I did there, right? So the Placeables / cow barn, and this is just like any one of your other Placeables. Man, I'm at a loss for words tonight. These we kept. I used the i3d that was in the base game, so I didn't really have to change this. I kept that the way it was. I think what we changed was, I don't know. Oh, okay, up here, this is actually the base game version. So I'm looking at something completely different. Let's look here. Yeah, there, Placeables / player farm / props. That's what I ended up changing. Everything else was able to stay the same. So you get what's going on there. All right, so what do you think the next step is going to be? I'll give you 3 seconds if you can guess. 3, 2, 1. Yes, good job. We're going to the Placeables. All right, go to the Placeables.xml. Let's duplicate the line that we already have there. All right, let's give this a unique name. Cow barn. Okay. Map directory, Placeables, we're going to keep. It's only these last 2 things that need to be changed here. Woo. And that's going to be cow barn / cow.xml. Alrighty, so for now, we can keep that the way it is. All we really need to do is we got to drop this cow barn into our map. Okay, and just drag that over just like you would any other Placeable. We're going to import it that way. Alrighty, so that's right there at the bottom of my scene graph now. If I go up to gameplay, was it? Oh no, I got placeholders right here. Okay, so I'm going to just use my middle mouse button and I'm going to drag that up into placeholders just so everything stays organized. And I'm going to find a place for my cow barn medium. I'm going to put it on this side actually. All right, Control B, get us in an interactive placement mode. And there we go. There's our cow barn. It's not so bad, right? Looks decent. Okay, so let's figure out, is that actually exactly where we want it? You want to get it roughly where you think it's its final home is going to be, its final position, okay? Because once we start noting the XYZ and the rotation values, it's not a pain, but you only want to do it once if you have to, right? All right, so click in the first box up there to translate X on the attributes on the right-hand side, and Shift Alternate C. All right, these guys remember that. You do it enough times and you're definitely going to remember. All righty, go back to our Placeables.xml to the position, and we're going to note its new position. Control V to paste it in there, and the rotation stayed at 0. Farm ID is still 1 because that's on my home farm. That's the farm that you get when you first start the game, right? That's the player's farm that basically inherits. That's what you start with. And that ID could be different. And I think I said that in the last video, but for my sake, it's still going to be 1. And the default farm property is what's telling you the default property is the starting farm for the player. Alrighty, so go ahead and save that. Alrighty, so we have one more thing that we have to do there. Anybody remember what that is? Okay, we need a store item. Remember that every single thing in our Placeables.xml also has a store item. Now, the way that I did mine, I have mine separated. I have it store items for my base game items, and the mod desk is where I keep my local items, okay? And this is a local item. So let's go to our mod desk. Hey, what happened there? Oh, okay, that's for the, I got it. That was for the cow barn. Alrighty, and all I'm going to do, same thing here, is I'm going to duplicate that line. And I copied, by the way, I went over and I just went for my placeables and I copied just placeables, cow barn, cow.xml. All right, my mod disk, that's where I was. Man, I feel so lost tonight. Alrighty, there we go. Alrighty, so we copied that in there, right? We pasted it in there and we're set as far as that one goes. As far as I can tell, everything looks good. We'll find out in a minute or two when I start this up. I've been known to be wrong many times in the past. Let's just do one more. We'll go through this one more time. Let's do it with the satellite dish, okay? So I renamed the folder sat dish. We'll open this up. I'm going to open up the mod disk. And I'm also going to open the satellite. Alrighty, so the placeable type, they have a solar panel, and that looks correct. Okay, so from what I can tell, yes. Okay, so this one here is basically, it's used to earn money. Alright. There's one thing that I'm thinking might make a difference with this. I'm not sure or not. We're going to leave it as is, though. There's something that I want to show you guys, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But for right now, type solar panel, let me check the mod disk. No, nothing's overwritten. Everything looks the way it should be. All right, so I can close that out. I'm going to go back to the folder and get rid of the mod disk because I don't need that. Gone. Alrighty, back to satellite. Let's make the changes there. And that was going to be placeables, because that's where everything sits. And then I think I named it sat dish and then / satellite. All right, something doesn't look right here. Satellite.i3d. That's how you spell satellite, right? S-A-T-E-L-L-I-T-E. That looks right to me. But when I go back to the folder, the XML only has one L. And the reason I catch this, I'm always, over time, you'll start paying attention to these little things, because this is where it's going to screw you. Pardon my French, but for lack of a better term, this is where it's going to screw you. You're going to start up the game. You're going to test everything out. It's not going to run. You're going to wonder why. And then you're going to come back. You're going to pull your hair out. And after, a little bit of bitching and moaning or whatever, I mean, I do a lot of that. You're going to find out it was a freaking misspelling the whole time. All right. So there's 2 misspellings that they have going on here. So that might come back to bite us. I don't think so. So let's just see satellite.xml. So he spelled it right here. So we're good for now. Alrighty. So we're going to take this. We're going to, I'm actually just going to, wait, I don't need the i3D. Let's go over to, lost myself there. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Let's go over to placeables.xml. I'm going to copy that anyhow, even though I don't want the i3D. I want the XML. We're going to go over to mod disk. I'm going to duplicate that line. All right. Now I'm going to Control V to paste it, and I'm going to change that i3D to an XML. And satellite XML was spelled wrong, so I'm going to take one of those L's out of there, and I'm going to save it. All right, now, so that's one thing I wanted to go over as far as placeables that you downloaded from the internet. Okay, so that's what I wanted to touch on there. So there's going to be some changes that are going to be that you're going to need to make before you can just plop it into your map and have it work. All right, because it definitely won't show up. And most people, and I've seen it happen time and time again. And I think even myself, I need to place that, by the way, too. But even myself, when I started out, I was like, oh, that'd be cool, man. I'd like to have that on my map. That's pretty awesome. I like that. Right. So what I would do is, I'd download it and I'd be like, I can do this. No problem. and I'd drag everything over the way, the best that I could. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I'd give it a shot and it didn't work. And after a while, I'd give up maybe, and I'd be like, this isn't possible. I guess you can't really do that. And you definitely can. You can use any of these items basically any way you want, as long as you know how. Whoa, that is, holy smokes. That's a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. Man alive. I thought it was just going to be like, like HughesNet or Dish Network or something like that. Holy smokes. Jesus criminies. I could communicate with Mars on that bad boy. All right, whatever. It is what it is. It's there. So let's keep it there. It'd be pretty cool if it moved, though, right? That would be pretty cool. It doesn't, though, because when I looked through the XML, there was no animation in there. So what was I saying before that? See, I lost my train of thought now. I know I was talking about bringing these items in. Oh, and changing things. That's what I was talking about. So there's definitely things that you need to change. And over time, you'll get used to what you're looking for. The best thing that you can do is, if you're ever unsure, is go find a placeable that works, like a base game placeable, and compare the two, right? Compare the XMLs, see what's different, what needs to be changed. Now, the two things that I changed are the two most common things that I see. The type, where everybody tries to be flashy and they put like JMF rules, and yeah, okay. When I have to change it back to something normal, I don't really rule at that moment. Maybe other times you do, but not there. All right, but anyhow, that needs to be changed, and the file path needs to be changed. All righty, so let's save this, and quickly we can go over and test to see if I effed anything up or not. So let's start our farming simulator. Let's see if this starts up okay. Come on, any day now. Any day now. There we go. You think for a solid state drive that would go a lot faster, don't you? Alright, so let's find tutorial, continue, start. And we'll see what we have here. Like I said, I wasn't going to get too deep into this. I just kind of wanted to go over third party. This is what I call third party, ones that you download from the internet. They're meant to be mods. They're meant for people already playing the game to download them, drop them in your mods folder, and then you can buy them from the store and you can plop them down in your map somewhere mid-game. But we can use them both ways. As map makers, we can definitely download them and we can use them in our map builds, right? No reason we couldn't. Now, with a lot of these, you have to, I don't know, everybody's a little bit different. There's guys that go out and they download other people's maps and they start stripping everything they want out of them. And I don't know, I don't think it's in poor taste, but I would either ask permission or at least give credit where credit's due, right? In some way, shape, or form, I would give credit to that mod author that I use some of his stuff there. All right, so there's the house and nothing else loaded. Ay. All right, where did we go wrong? So this is probably not bad that this happened. So now we can figure out what actually happened here. What is the deal and why are we not working the way we should? All right, so let me get out of here. Let's go back to our game log and find out what happened here. So that's not a bad thing, right? So we can learn by this. So I overlooked something. All right, so let's get into our game log, find out what the deal is there. Alrighty, so let's get back here. All right, game log. Something I want to check really quick. Actually, I don't even want to open it with that. I want to open this with Notepad. All right, what I'm looking at here is I want to look at my placeables. Okay, all right, satellite dish I didn't put on there. Man, you guys are slacking. You didn't remind me. I'm tired. All right, so let's get the satellite dish put in there. That was kind of stupid, wasn't it? See, these are the little things that are they're going to get you. Can't believe I forgot that. That was really stupid. All right. So how many of you guys actually caught that mistake? As you know, before I had to come back and realize that I did it. Anybody? If you did, good. I mean, that's kind of the whole point here. It's awesome if you guys caught that. At least you're paying attention, and that means you have an idea what the hell's going on here, right? How did he spell satellite XML with 1 L, right? Yes, that looks about right. So we need to get the position off of that sat dish. Man, I can't believe I missed that. That is so not like me. I mean, I make mistakes, but that's kind of a big one there. All right, shift alternate C. We're going to, shift alternate C. Let's copy those. Okay. Let's go back here. Put those in. Control V. This one looks like it has a rotation to it, so I need to pay attention to that. So do the same thing, shift alternate C. And again, the farm ID can stay as 1 with the default farm property being true. Control V, put that in there. Now save this. Yikers, can't believe I did that. So congratulations if you caught that, by the way. So that just goes to show that you're learning. You're learning. That's the whole point to this whole process, right? All right. So how many of you guys are actually familiar with your error log? All right. What I did there is when I tested this, I was back in my regular save game folder, right, where these were all my save games. Now mine looks a little bit different. Now normally you see like save game 1 through whatever. And I don't have that on this version. This version, I won't have any save games until I actually save a game. But in your save game folder, you'll see this log here, this log text document, and that's what I have open, right? And this logs everything that's going on when you start up the game. It'll log everything in here. It shows you all of the mods that were loaded up, all the maps that were loaded. And as we scroll down here, you'll see warnings like this warning here. This is a normal warning, by the way. This is something that Giants did, and I guess it doesn't bother them, and they just leave it there. And so if it doesn't bother them, it doesn't bother me. So you can skip those warnings. You'll get used to seeing those over and over and over because they're always there. All right, we're looking for errors and ones that we know are from our boo-boo. All right, so we see a warning here, and this is saying no store items for cow barn. So did I miss that? And this is the warning you're going to get when I said, remember with the store items, you're going to get that warning. You'll either get it in-game or you'll get it from the test runner. Okay, so maybe I missed that in my store items. Man, I'm really butchering things tonight, guys. If I didn't get that where it needed to be, mod desk. No, that's there. Cow.xml. Placeables / cow barn / cow.xml. So let's double check that. All right, so let's go into mods. All right, placeables, cow barn, cow.xml. That should be fine. So why is that showing that way? Man, I'm lost tonight. Okay, go back to the log. All right, so that looks a little weird. I'm not sure why it's not finding the store item here for... We'll try it one more time after this because that looks right to me. I'm not sure why that didn't load. And then obviously I can see why the satellite dish didn't load because I was being retarded and kind of really missed everything there. All right. Not sure what the deal is there with that store item. Not missing anything, right? Placeable sat dish. Right, that's right. Cow husbandry, placeables, cow barn, and a lot of times it's your own misspelling. Like you might have misspelled placeables, or any number of things. That is cow.i3d, right? Make sure that's right. Yep, cow.i3d. Okay, mod disk. All right. It doesn't look like I misspelled anything, so I'm not sure why that's not taking. That wasn't saved, by the way, so that could have been part of my problem. I guess as far as the tutorial video goes, this one's kind of sad because I kind of goofed a few things up, but you know what? This is the way it's going to go for you guys. So I don't really see this as a bad thing. I see this as a definite learning experience because this is going to happen to you more times than you can count. I promise you it is. So it's a good learning experience to see how to go about figuring out what the issue is. And correcting it, getting everything to work the way you want it to work. All right. So hopefully you're paying attention. This is going to be a what not to do video. All right. I have no shame in putting myself out there and making myself look bad. And alrighty, now we have a satellite dish, but no cow barn. All right. What is going on with that cow barn? Did I miss it? All right, man, that is a monster dish, man. Look at that thing. Ay, ay, ay. All right, so did any of you guys right now, did you spot my mistake and are you like yelling at the computer screen right now? Like, dude, you moron. Like, come on, you're missing it. It's right there. You know, like when you're watching like a horror movie and you're screaming like, don't go out there. You're like, can't you see him? He's around the corner. That kind of thing. See, there's my bike laying on the ground, right? All right, so let's get out of here. One more time, we'll have a look and see if we can't pinpoint what the problem is. I'm actually surprised. I don't normally have this many issues. But if you're going to have issues, this is where you're going to have them. It's going to be with third-party mods that you downloaded from the internet and something is not quite meshing up to what you think it, you know, the way you want it to. All right, so let's go back into our log. Okay. Placeable. And man, it's still giving me the thing for the cow barn. All right, mods, map US tutorial series, placeables, cow barn, / cow XML. That's right. What am I missing there? Placeables. Okay, this is right. Satellite dish we know is right. This is all correct. And then the mod disk. I'm not seeing it. I am definitely not seeing what the issue is here. Store items, right? Cow barn, cow.xml. And always check it against your folders here to make sure, right? So we're placeables. We got, did I misspell that? Is that cow barm? I can't tell. Like I said, my eyes are crap. Kind of looks like it, doesn't it? I can't tell. Sort of look like it. That's going to be pretty sad. But hey, it's the truth of the matter. This is kind of the way things go, man. Like I did, I not just say that a misspelling, chances are you're gonna catch yourself on your own misspelling. Now, in my defense, like I said, I do wear prescription glasses. They've been broken now for like the past like 2 years. I haven't replaced them, but I found these really cool like multi-focus readers that work really well. And I've been using those ever since. I guess they don't work as well as I thought they did. They do. I just like really small stuff. I can't read. I just have problems with it. All right. I'm done with the excuses, I guess. So that's what this is going to be. A whole big tutorial on making your own mistakes and troubleshooting. All right. So let's raise our hands. How many people think that cow barn is going to be there now? Anybody? Drum roll. Slowly, slowly. Hey, look at that. Look at that. All right. So that was the issue. It was Bauer being a big old dummy, just misspelling it. Hey, it works. All right. That's a good sign. So it looks pretty good. I'm sure I see the purpose in this. What are they supposed to do here? I guess just like the shades, I guess, right? Because there's a gate inside of there. All right, so everything works. The sound works. Man, that satellite dish. Criminies, that thing is big. All right. All right, so there you have it. Everything looked pretty good. Now concerning the satellite dish, now here's one thing that you can do. I don't know if you know you can do this or not. So let's go back to let's get back to Giants editor. We're gonna go back in there really quick. All right. What we could do is with this satellite dish, when you have this, when you have it highlighted in your scene graph right there, you can knock down the scale if you want. Just go to scale and you can make that, like, say, half its size. Woo, that's a funky looking one, huh? Let's take care of this last one. There we go. And now we got a smaller satellite dish. And if you get it even maybe a little bit smaller yet, you can even move it a little bit closer, like to the house. Because, I mean, the house looked tiny compared to this thing. And you can go even smaller if you want. I mean, get it to where you want it, you know? Like you can actually go this way. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, let's try it this way. Oh, I see. I'm at its limit already. So get it down to about a height that you want it. So, okay, so 0.25 we're going to try. And just make everything else match that height. And keep it proportional, right? Proportional? Yeah, that looks a little more not so big. So, all right, let's now I feel okay about, maybe I'll have that out in the backyard somewhere like that. All right. Isn't there like a... Isn't there like a direction this is supposed to be heading, like, you know, into the western sky or something weird like that? Also seems kind of weird that the front of my house is right there. I guess that's not entirely weird. So that's actually in my front yard, isn't it? Which isn't really that weird. Let's see, how does that look? Yeah, that looks better. I think so. That thing can probably even go smaller yet. But... now, don't get me wrong. I mean, as a big dish, like somewhere out here, like on the countryside or something, you know, maybe put up like a chain link fence around it and I don't know, some pit bulls or Dobermans and an armed guard or two. And I think that would look all right. But in my front yard, yeah, kind of weird. Now that you made this change, though, with the size change, you don't have to do anything with the XML, anything like that. This is all contained within your map.i3D, right? So as far as size changes and stuff like that, you're fine. The only difference the only thing that I need to note right now is I changed the rotation and I changed translate values. So again, we're going to hit Shift Alternate C. So to make sure they, you know, shows back up in the correct place, let's go back to Placeables for satellite dish. And we're going to update these values. Okay, so that changed. And then we're going to go back to rotation and get that new value there. Shift Alternate C. There we go. I hit save on that. Alrighty, so last thing that I want to go over with you guys. If for some reason, okay, say, I don't know, how about cow barn, for example, okay? Say that we use that more than once on our map. You can do that for this placeable. You can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of that if you want. And just every farm could have one. This map bound ID must reflect that. That has to be a unique ID, right? So now you will need 5 different entries on your placeables.xml. So it'll be cow barn 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. And then each position is going to be different because they're going to sit at a different place on your map. All right. But then when you get over to your store items, you only need 1 entry. Okay. You only need that one that one cow barn. That's it. You don't need 5 different entries in your store items. You only need 1. So if you have multiples, remember that you only need 1 in your store items. And as far as the folder itself, if you didn't make any changes to it, you didn't change anything with the mod itself, you also only need 1 copy of this XML. This cow.xml and the cow, like anything in here, you only need 1 copy of it. Now, if for some reason you went and you did something to the mod itself and you altered one of them, now you need a second copy. Remember, you only need to make a copy of something if you changed it. You know, from the base game, the only time we need to host copies of any of the base game files is if we make a change to them. And the same thing applies to third-party mods, right? So if we made a change to those, so if I have, this copy here, which looks good, but like say I took the curtains off of one of them, right? Now I would need to make another copy of that. Yeah, I'd need to make a copy, no doubt. I'm not even going to go into what I was going to say. So I would definitely need a second copy of that. But if everything is just the way it is, just the way that the mod came, you didn't change anything, you only need one single copy here in your Placeables folder. You only need one reference in your store items, but each one of those in your placeables.xml, you need to make note of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many you used. Okay. And I believe that is everything that I wanted to go over in this tutorial, right? So I guess this is Placeables part 2. And now you know how to get third-party mods into your map. You know how to make lots and lots of mistakes. I was sure to show you that. But you learn from those mistakes, and now you know how to troubleshoot them by going into your log, looking for the warnings, the errors. Most of the times, the errors in your log, in your game log, are usually self-explanatory, but not always. Now, like I said, with everything else, and this goes with with anything, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, right? And you'll start getting used to what warnings and what errors mean what. And in my case, it turned out to be one, I forgot to put an entry into Placeables, which was just stupid, but I'll be proud of you if you never make that same mistake anywhere in your map building career. It's going to happen. Like I said, I've been doing these things for quite some time, and I'd still do it. I have all the excuses in the world. I have a cold, I'm tired. It don't matter. It no matter what your excuse is, it's still what's done is done. It's going to happen. All right. And then misspelling. So look at always pay attention to the spellings, because that's going to bite you in the butt more times than you can count. I promise you that. Alrighty, so I guess go ahead and practice with that. I think one of my next videos, I'm not sure how far down the road, we're going to maybe go over importing, exporting again, because, and we did importing, that's easy enough. We're going to start exporting some items from other maps, maybe not other maps, but base game maps, because we still need things like trees and maybe some other things to flesh out our map. It's looking pretty bare around here, so I think that's what we're going to get into. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave it at that. And with that being said, that's right. I'm Bauer Brown, and I will see you on the next one.